Good evening everybody. Today I am going to give you a few tips and suggestions which helps you in attempting the first year intermediate English paper. The first year paper consists of 3 sections. Section A, B and C. Coming to the attempting of the paper, there is a dilemma in many students' mind that whether they should go in A, B, C trial or from C, B, A. The thing is, it depends upon the individual. If the student is well expert in grammar and interested in writing it first, he can do it from C, B, A. And if the student is interested in writing the descriptive part, he has thoroughly studied well, he can go from A, B, C. There is no difference with regard to marks in attempting in ABC or from C, B, A. And now coming to section A, the first Roman is prose annotations, where they give you 4 and you have to attempt 2. In attempting 2, the first thing is you should aim in getting 4 marks. 4 marks in the sense for each annotation, what are the things you have to analyze. First thing is the annotation should be divided into 3 parts. First is when you write the thing, in the first paragraph, there comes the reference part. You have to mention from which lesson is this line or these lines taken from. And moreover, you have to write the name of the writer. For this, what you have to do is you have to remember the title, the spelling, whether with articles or whatever it is. So you should also remember the articles which are in it. And moreover, the writer of that particular prose also has to be by hearted. And when you write these things, you get half a mark for the prose lesson and half a mark for the name of the writer. Coming to the second paragraph is where you give your exact answer, because the question which is given there has to be explained in the author's meaning and the author's idea in the second paragraph. And last is your choice, last is your place where you have to give your description, your idea regarding the given sentences or sentence. And now if you write it very clearly, actually it has to be written in a page and it has to be written very clearly with good handwriting and good presentation. If it is done so, then what happens, definitely you will be getting 3.5 or 4 in the prose annotation. The same manner you go for the other prose annotation and the poetry annotation also, where you will be getting full marks. And coming to section B, it is comprehension passages. They are unseen passages. If you are lucky, they'll give you the comprehension passages from your textbook passages itself. And if you are thorough with all the passages which are in your textbook, the comprehension passages, that will really help you, because there are sentences, there are questions like, write what is the verb form, what is the adjective form, what is the noun form, pick the word from the passage and write the antonym, synonym all. If you are thorough with all the comprehension passages which are in the textbook, definitely he is going to give 1 passage from the textbook and 1 from unseen. So if you are prepared all the comprehension passages from your textbook, it will help you to attempt 5 marks. And the remaining also, he doesn't give that difficult for you to attempt it. So you can get, this is the place, this is the section where you can score 10 by 10 in your in section B, and you can cover it even if you go wrong in grammar part. This is the place where you can score 10 by 10. Coming to section C, which is very, very important, the first place is given to articles. When you come to articles, you have to be thorough with all the rare words. There is, like to say that consonants giving vowel sounds and vowel letters giving consonant sounds should be analyzed first, because it is the place where these are the words like university, union, uniform, useful, where the letter starts with U, which is a vowel, but it gives the consonant sound ya, Y-U or Y-A. So in this case what happens, this confuses you. So you have to be thorough with all this. 1 rupee, supposing if you say 1 rupee, 1, O-N-E-1, you don't say it as 1 rupee, you say it as 1 rupee. So 1, wa, V-A or W-A. So in this place it goes, though it is a vowel letter, it gives a consonant sound. So in that case what you have to write, you have to write a 1 rupee and not an 1 rupee. So all these words have to be analyzed first. Where these words where the consonant letters give you vowel sounds and the vowel letters which give consonant sounds has to be read and be thorough with all those things. Coming to the, there the is used before the names of rivers, mountain ranges, newspapers, before the names of epics, before the names of holy books and channels, newspapers and all these things, oceans and all those things, seas. And now coming to the mountain ranges, the is not used for mountain, it is used for mountain ranges. Supposing if you take Himalayas, you say the Himalayas, but you don't say the Mount Everest. Why? Because Himalaya is a mountain range. It is a range of mountains. So you have to use the. The is used before mountain ranges only. And when you come to Mount Everest, the is not used because Mount Everest is a single mountain. It is not a mountain range. So before the names of mountain ranges only, you have to use the. This is like what you say. If you are thorough with all these things, then you get really 3 marks, which is full marks from your article section. Coming to preposition, please do not translate your mother tongue preposition into English. Because even if you translate, you may go some 30 to 40% correct, but the remaining you go wrong. Why? In the sense, to be clear, I say a few examples for you. Now, you say in Telugu, Devudu Meeda Nammakam. Meeda is what? On. But in English, we don't say believe on God. We say believe in God. And another part is workers strike lo unnaru. Lo is in. But we say the workers are on strike. So in this case, if you translate the Telugu prepositions exactly into English prepositions, definitely you are going to go 50% of the sentences as wrong sentences only. So see that you do. And moreover you say, Veedi kante vaadu peddodu, you say. And here kante is what? Than in English. But we don't use than. We say elder to, younger to. He is elder to her. She is elder to her. She is superior to her. He is inferior to her. You use the word to. So dini kante naku adishta. You say than, but it is not than. I prefer this to that. I prefer shoes to chappals. I prefer coffee to tea. So this is what you have to do. So when you exactly translate Telugu prepositions into English, you go wrong. So be careful, and what are the exercises that are given in the textbook are to be revised well. The similar sentences will be given for you to score very good marks in prepositions also. And the third part, which is verb forms, it's like nightmare for many, because verb forms, they find it difficult. But if you catch the keywords, then it will be easy for you to attempt all the questions in the verb forms. In the verb forms, the keywords tells you to which tense does this sentence belong to. So if you take supposing every day, the other words which gives us the meaning is every day, daily, always, regularly, frequently, often, very often. So all these words belong to one category where it goes to simple present tense. And in the same manner, you may be finding it difficult with regard to present perfect continuous and past perfect continuous also. Have and has both takes had only in the past form. So be careful in finding out conscious in selecting the keywords for finding out to which tense does that sentences belong to, so that you can write the answers exactly. And these all things, like what is it? The next comes is rewrite as directed. So each part, rewrite as directed, is a vast syllabus where if you study all the active and passive full rules, then you get only 1 mark. And full active and passive, direct and indirect speech, again you get 1 mark. Simple, compound, complex with all the rules you study, again you get 1 mark. Positive, comparative, superlative, you study all the models, again you get only 1 mark. And here question tags, again you read all the rules, you get 1 mark. But here it is the place where you show your talent, that even with all those rules, if they give one sentence, you are able to attempt it correct. And now the first part, when it comes to active and passive voice, what you have to do is, active and passive is Usually they give only from active to passive. Very rarely, if you are unfortunate, then you get from passive to active. Usually they give only active to passive. So here if imperative sentences, usually I find imperative sentences only in the examination paper. Like visit your doctor. So it changes when it is imperative sentence, you start with let. Let your doctor be visited. So it comes like, it starts with let. And moreover, coming to the second is direct and indirect speech. Usually from direct to indirect is given, and indirect to direct is very rare case. And coming to direct to indirect, if the reported verb is in past tense, only then the tense inside the quotations should change to the respective past tense. Supposing you say the reporting speech is said, and inside it is have, it goes to had. And here if it is like what you say, do becomes did, and if did is there, it becomes had. It comes to the respective past tense. And now coming to what you say, the reporting speech, reporting verb. If the reporting verb is in simple present tense or in simple future tense, then the tense inside the quotation will remain the same. And even in universal truth, it remains the same and the tense doesn't change there, even for proverbs also. And the next part after this rewrite is correction of sentences. If you have thoroughly studied articles, prepositions, verb forms, rewrite as directed, then you will find it very easy to attempt this correction, because this correction of sentences, all these 5 sentences comes only from these grammar parts which have been prescribed for you. The next comes phrasal verbs, which is for 3 marks. A slight change in the meaning gives a big difference. Here look after, look into, both gives you different meaning, but it appears to be similar. Like look after is to take care of someone. Look into is you go and analyze a problem and look into it. So both gives you different meaning. So you have to be very careful in reading all this. The phrasal verbs given in the textbook itself is more than enough for you to prepare for your first year examination to score the full marks of that section, of that Roman. And next comes the silent letters. Silent letters are really challenging because we pronounce in Telugu, we pronounce all the letters in the word. But in English it is not such. We leave a few letters, sometimes a letter or letters without pronouncing. So that becomes silent letters. See that which letter is. For this you should know good pronunciation. And these English medium students who are from their beginning, they find it a bit easy. And Telugu medium students, if you find this silent letters a bit difficult or challenging, then you just get the answers of the words which are in your textbook, which is more than that for you to prepare. And next comes the parts of speech. Parts of speech is a place where it confuses you, and it is like one word becomes a noun, and the same word becomes a pronoun, and the same word becomes an adjective also sometimes. Supposing you take for example water. If you say I drank water, in that place water is a noun. And if I say in the second sentence, if I say water the plants, then water becomes a verb. The same water in the first sentence is noun, and the water in the second sentence is verb. And coming to the third part, I say I love water sports, you say. Sports is noun. So water sports. Water is what? Adjective. So in the first sentence it was a noun, the second sentence it was a verb, and in the third sentence it was an adjective. So same word can be of different parts of speech. But the thing is, what you should know is, you should know what work that particular word is doing in that sentence. If you come to know the work of that word in that sentence, then you can easily identify the parts of speech of that particular word. And next comes the match the following. Match the following here, if you go one wrong, the other thing automatically goes wrong. So you have to be very careful. Prepare the words which are at the back of the prose and poetry, and there are 12 examples given in your textbook. Those examples are more than enough for you to prepare for your examination. And next comes the interesting part where you can show your artistic talent, the transcoding information. Here transporting from text to diagram and diagram to text. So here I prefer my children to write only text to diagram because it is the place where you can score the full 5 marks. 1 mark is given to the title and 4 marks for the diagram. That is 2 marks for the diagram and 2 marks for the representation in the diagram. So here you get pie chart, bar graph, tree diagram and flow chart, route map, tabular column, etc. So coming here to this diagram part, when you draw the pie chart, when you are to draw a pie chart in the examination, what you have to do is, you have to get a perfect bangle so that you draw a circle properly. See that you don't bring the bangle which your mother uses regularly, because if you bring that, what happens, when you go and draw, you get only an amoeba there, you don't get a perfect circle. So you bring a perfect metal bangle, not glass bangle, metal bangle, and then you have to bring or a compass so that you can draw a perfect pie chart. And see that you put a center properly and draw radiuses accordingly. And next, coming to the what you call as the bar graph, you have to draw the x-axis, y-axis, 0 degree, and below, supposing you are to represent the production of wheat and sugar in the years 2000, 2001, 2002 and 2003 respectively. What happens? You have to draw an x-axis, y-axis with 0 degree and pointing out 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, and this side the production is given in tons in the y-axis. You put 100, 200, 300, 400 on. And then what happens in that bar graph, what happens? This goes, when this is done, below you have to write, what are this 2000, 2001, 2002, are they donkeys or monkeys? They are the years of production. So below you have to write years of production, and on y-axis what you have to do is, you have to write the production in tons. And moreover, beside to your right, you have to put 2 boxes showing the difference in the bar graph. Like what is wheat? A plain one, and the sugar is a striped one. So you have to show the differences. Only if every representation is given in the diagram, you will be able to get the full scored marks. Coming to this route map. Route map, there are U-turn, Y junction which is in the shape of Y, and T junction, and a square and a crossroad. Everything has to be remembered. A circle, and that is a bend circle, you see, that is 4-way junction where you put a circle in the middle. So all these things are to be remembered. 3-storied building, you have to put a 3-storied building and you have to show it represented there. A church, you put a big one and a short one. You should know the crosses between the Holy Cross and the Hospital Cross. You have to know the difference between them. And all these things are the one which you have to. Crossroads means the what you call as 4-way junction. If it is tilted a bit, it becomes crossroad. So you should know all these things in order to draw a perfect route map. And next comes this, after this diagram is what you call diagram to text. They give you a diagram and you have to write the text. Usually I don't prefer my children to write this because since this is descriptive, you don't get full marks there. But still, if when you don't understand the first part, you're not an expert in drawing a diagram, then you can prefer this part. When you come to this part, what happens is, here write a heading for it, a suitable heading, and then you go for describing it. If supposing a description is given, where like what you say, a description is given between now the 18th Roman is the one which is very interesting and challenging also. You should learn all it is a phonetic transcription. Phonetics, phone means sound. Phonetics means the science of sound. When you get the correct pronunciation, if you wanted to know the correct pronunciation of any word, you should learn phonetics. There are particular symbols there. That particular symbol gives you that particular sound only. For example, if you take A into consideration, A gives you many sound in different words. If you say auntie, A-U-N-T-Y, auntie, ah. A gives you the sound ah there. Aeroplane, A. So A gives you the sound A there. Apple, apple, a. So A, a particular letter A gives you many sounds. But in phonetics, it is not so. Each letter gives only one particular sound. So if it is such, what you have to do is, you have to learn all the consonant, vowel, and diphthongs. Diphthong is the combination of two vowel sounds is called as diphthong. So you should know the symbols of consonants, vowels and diphthongs for you to write this very well. And there is another one what you call Abad Bandavadu, that is odd sounds. Odd sounds, what happens every time, they give you 5 actually, but every time he gives 4 easy one and one is very difficult. Sometimes he give confusing words. You say F-O-O-D. We pronounce it as food, but it is actually food. F-O-O-D is food. It is not oo sound there, it's oo sound. And next comes W-O-O-L. We call it as, actually the correct pronunciation is wool and not wool. So what happens with this confusion, you may go wrong. So it's better to go for phonetic transcription where they give you 10 words and out of 10 you have tried only 5, but you are asked, but I suggest writing all the 10 because even if 1 or 2 goes wrong, you get the full 5 marks over there. And next comes syllable division, which is the 19th Roman. So coming to this 19th Roman syllables, there is only one single rule for syllables. That is, when you pronounce any word, and during your pronunciation, if you get a vowel sound, you stop there. That comes as one syllable. And you continue with the pronunciation, you get the second syllable. Again you continue, you get the third syllable. Wherever the vowel sound comes, you stop there. So how many stops you make? Those many syllables. Supposing if you take the word tomorrow or the word arrow for example, to say a is a vowel sound, you stop there. Row, arrow, it's a disyllabic word, but in your textbook it is given a single syllable, but it is actually disyllabic. For example, another example, college, and we pronounce that college. If you pronounce it as college, you get 3 syllables which goes wrong. But actually it is o sound you get, so you stop there, the vowel sound. Ledge, edge, a sound you get. So this syllable, whenever you get a vowel sound, you have to stop there. And stopping so, you get monosyllabic words, disyllabic, trisyllabic and polysyllabic. Don't be writing tetra, penta, hexa all. 4 and above 4, you have to write it as polysyllabic word. So you can put a tabular column and write mono, di, tri, poly, or you can write the side headings as mono, di, tri, poly, and you can select the words from your question paper and write against each one where it suits respectively. And now the last syllable, which is last Roman, which is very easy, is filling up the dialogue part. So here you can write whatever you want. You can enjoy writing this, no restriction at all. But provided you see that you don't write it in a single word. Supposing thank you, sorry, fine, bye. Don't use such words. Another example is thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Both are of similar meaning. And this sorry. I am extremely sorry, sir. Sorry and I am extremely sorry, sir. Both gives you similar meaning only. But the thing is, simply writing sorry it is not eligible for 1 mark. So you write, I am extremely sorry, sir. So when you attempt this last 20th Roman, it's your choice and your place where you can show your creativity. But provided you don't use a single word, even if you use a single word, you get marks. But see that it is relevant and use it in a full form like, I am fine, thank you, how are you? I am extremely sorry, sir. I am very much thankful to you, sir. See you soon, sir. Instead of saying bye, say see you soon, sir. So all these words will really make the examiner impress you well, and moreover you get good marks. And the thing I would like to suggest everyone is, if it is groups like maths, physics or chemistry, they just consider only the points. But coming to your languages, your presentation is very important. Presentation in the sense everything comprises there. The Roman letters have to be put relevantly, and the question numbers and lines after each answers with legible handwriting, preferably italic handwriting, that is joining handwriting if preferred, and all these things if you do it, definitely you will get good marks. Give preference to all the exercises in your textbook, and that will fetch you very good marks. And all the best for all the students.